Hi, my name is David Lang, and my session submission for the Software Craftsmanship Conference is to have a look at using functional koans to learn some functional programming languages. Now, a koan is a snippet of knowledge expressed as a test, and it's quite a fun way to learn a new language. The way that the session works is that in the first section we'll break up and work on our own, and you'll pick a language that you'd like to learn. There are functional koans for a number of different languages, but the ones that I'd like to focus on in this session are Scala, F#, and JavaScript. So in the first part you'll download the koans from GitHub, get them running on your development machine, and then work through them, learning the language as you go. In the second part of the session we'll then have a look at solving a particular computational problem, to be revealed on the day of course, using two different functional languages. So you'll pair up with someone who's learned a different language than yourself, and then you'll have a go at solving the same problem in each of the different languages. And it'll be interesting to contrast and compare to see which one is more elegant, which one runs quicker, and all those good things. And then finally, once we've done that, then we're going to have a look at contributing back to the functional koan projects. So if you've noticed something that's incorrect when you were doing the koans, or perhaps there was an additional piece of information that you think should be codified as a koan, then we'll write that, or rather you'll write that, you'll push it up to your GitHub fork, and then you will initiate a pull request to try and get it submitted into the main project branch. So let's have a look at how this works in the JavaScript koans. Right, so here we go. We see that we're doing a section of koans teaching us all about asserts. Now most of the functional koan sets start off with this technique, and you'll see here that our error message tells us exactly which line and which file the error has occurred on. In this case it's there on line 5, and we see it's giving us a text hint saying that the assert should be true. So we make that change, then we rerun our koans, and now we see it says, aha, assert true has increased our awareness, but now we have an error with message. So we go to have a look at the exact line number, we make that change, and then we run again to find the next piece, which is going to teach us something. So assert with message has worked, but we now have an issue with assert with equality. So here you see it, there's a placeholder that I need to replace, and just for speed I'm going to fix the next koan as well. And the final koan there on line 31. And I'm going to run all the koans again, and let's see how I'm doing. So my thinking about asserts has succeeded. So here we have a very similar set of koans, but this time in Scala. So you can see again we are editing and filling in missing values, and then from the command line we're issuing a Maven build, which is compiling all the koans, running them. They run very similar to unit tests. In fact, they probably run through the Scala test framework. And we can see that we have an issue in the next koan file. So we open that one up, navigate to the correct line, and we figure out what we need to change, what piece of information we need to learn about Scala to make this test pass. So in this case, it's that variables declared with var are mutable, which is useful to know. So we'll make that change and then we'll rerun the test suite. Well, that's enough about Scala. Let's have a look at F#. So F# has a similar set of introductory koans, and now we're on to something a bit more complex, which is teaching us about tuples. And here we go. When I run the project, I can see which ones have passed, and I can see that I need to make a change on line 19. So here I'm learning about how you can grab the first and second items from a tuple. The F# koans contain quite a bit of inline documentation, which is quite helpful to teach you about how the environment works. Here in this koan, I'm learning about pattern matching, how I can do multiple variable assignment out of a tuple at one go, which is quite a neat feature. And then the koans basically continue in that vein. So that's what we'll be doing in the first section. Then, as I said, in the second section, in part 2, we'll have a go at solving a functional problem as a pair in 2 different functional languages to compare and contrast, look at speed and elegance and so forth. And then we'll finish up the session by contributing back. So fix a bug, add a new koan, and push it back to the maintainer. Well, I hope you find that as exciting as I do. I hope that we'll be running this session at the Software Craftsmanship. See you then.